All right, ladies and gentlemen, recording in progress. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Loose Head Sports Show, the number one sports show on planet Earth. Look, we almost got 500 listens last week, Ted Gillespie. Which is not bad for a couple of no names who have no fucking clue about social media. And, you know.
I don't look very good today. I'm a bit worried about this. I got a bit of, fucking people complaining about my camera last week. I have a camera. We were in a rush. I've got a microphone, as you can see, got the camera, but because the resolution is too good, I now don't look very good. So that is, right. It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off.
Very few flaws. Very, very few mental, personality, and physical flaws are on full display with the HD camera.
Is that better?
Well, I don't know if better is the word I'd use, but anyway, what's going on?
Mate, another week is in the of the shoot shield. The steam train keeps rolling. I suppose we'll tick off our games first, since we were the ones there.
I haven't watched any other games. I switched off from rugby after the weekend.
Yeah, I didn't, but I fully appreciate how. Actually, I switched off. I watched, but I didn't do nodie things. We went up to the Hunter. Good Friday traffic. It was it could have been a curveball for us.
Can you lift your mic a little closer?
Yep.
Just a touch.
Could have been a curveball for us going to the Good Friday traffic, all that sort of thing. I really it's really nice playing at the Hunter. They've got a lovely ground. The people are really happy to be there, except for the people sledging me while I was trying to coach. But
be used to that by now.
Yeah, well, I'll tell that one in a little bit. But it's really good. The coaches up there, John Muggerton and Mr. Coleman, they're really good guys. It's nice to be there. The players always have a chat with you after the game, and they put on food and stuff. So it's very, very good. Hunter are an interesting side. They've got their 10 used to play for North. He's got a very big kick. We're talking, I don't know if I've seen a bigger kick in our comp at the moment. So they have that ability to sort of just pin you down. We played reasonably well, so we sort of be able to get out of there. But they're going to cause some headaches this year, I think. And they're not a team that I had it circled as something I didn't really want to play them in Newcastle. It's just it can cause headaches. I'm gonna call that they're gonna knock a few guys over. We got out of there with the chocolates, but they're gonna do some damage.
I agree. I think anyone in the shoot shield on their day can beat anyone. Pretty much anyone can.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the middle. I think the top 8 all playing each other is if you have a bad game and you're in the top 8, then you'll lose.
Okay.
Just quickly, I was being sledged from 2 angles. So on the right, I had some guys on the beers who later I found out was my friends from school, Ed Wiley and Josh McCormack. So they were quite funny with their sledging. But early on, I was looking into the sun and just going, how would they possibly have, who is this really giving it to me here? On the left, I had sort of 10 to 12, what I didn't know at the time, 14-year-old sort of guys, that sort of rat's tail, probably had a few Jim Beams on the way to the game, and they were sort of, each time we send out a message, they'd ask if they need to come up and help us how to coach. And the first time it happened, I was looking into the sun. So obviously my fuse has shortened with my age. So I was like, yeah, come up here, you little fuck. And because I thought they were about 20. And then the sun sort of died off a bit and they were about 12.
So you're abusing kids.
Well, no, they were being dicks. I was like, come up here then, you fuck. And then I was like, oh, and that's a child. So had to just eat that for the rest of the 80.
That would have been a good Daily Telegraph headline. Local 55-year-old Eastwood Fords coach abuses 12-year-old innocent country kid.
Oh, no. Yeah, well, he fucking deserved it. But then another kid asked me, who's really, really nice, asked me if I played with his dad, who played in the late 1990s. So it was a full day up there. But yeah, we were very happy to get away.
Did you guys get the bus up there, or did you just drive up and come back?
Man, I'm not involved with the administrative side much, but I can see that would have been a qualm. And also, people wanted to do things on their Easter long weekend. Some guys wanted to stay up in Newcastle, get on the piss. Some guys wanted to come back down and be with their family. So, nah.
Weirdos.
Yeah, I know.
Weirdos.
I personally,
people with lives.
I didn't see my family at all. They were on holidays, and I was in my little cell that I'm in now.
Mate, I went to Newcastle early this last week. Kate has some foot problem and she needed to see like a specialist because she hurt her ankle playing basketball with kids or something. Don't ask. I don't get it. But one of the tricks of the trade you learn from working in the transport industry is that if you need a bathroom urgently, a local McDonald's is the perfect pit stop.
McDonald's in Neutral Bay.
Oh
yeah.
So, and obviously you go on the disabled one because it's used less frequently and a lot more comfortable. But I was urgently, I had way too many coffees because I had to get up like earlier than normal, which is not that early these days. And I've gone into this McDonald's bathroom, and if you want to see the worst of a place, go to a McDonald's. Go to a McDonald's. Yeah. And you're like, I'm sorry for any of my, like, I know Rob James, big McDonald's guy. I know you're a big McDonald's guy. Really. I assume you do drive through and you don't ever go in because,
go on. All right, go on.
But if you want to see the worst of society, go to a McDonald's. That was my little rant.
Yeah. Not that I ever go there, but I went to the spaceship, like one of the new age tech ones where you can't order at the fucking counter.
Yeah.
You're really throwing the junkies out. Like
that fucking annoys me. I want to talk to a person.
Well, I want to, like if you're trying to get a large Diet Coke, you want to like, which I get and nothing else. I'm like, large Diet Coke. They point you over to the fucking big wall screen thing that you use at shopping centers to find where General Pants is. And you got to clickety-click, and I hated it.
Hey, they'll get to the point where they just scan your body as you walk in. They'll go, this guy's having 35 hash browns, 2 Big Macs, deep fried banana bread, and a Diet Coke.
Yeah, as you walk in, you just hear, yeah, he's coming. They're coming.
Put it on Mr. Gillespie's tab.
Oh, fuck me. So you guys had Norths?
We had Norths, short week. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of short weeks. I was a big fan of the long weekend, though. Look, it's hard when you get a red card early on and a sin bin in the game.
And that's not like for completely different offences, but you've had another red this season, right?
We had a red against us. Manly, one of the Manly guys had a red against us.
Oh, it was the Manly.
We've had a number of yellow cards though. Look, it wasn't an amazing day. We did some good things. We did some bad things.
I watched your game. I thought like the physicality aspect was very, very good at times. I think that like that's what you've got to do to North is that you have to win the physical battles. I thought obviously set piece was good. Scrum was good.
Line out was poor. Our line out was poor, to be honest. And we were too inconsistent with our scrum. Like when we did what we were supposed to do, we were very good. And then look, funny day, mate. And this is club footy at its absolute best. We had a number of prop injuries on the day. And I don't think that's given anything away. So in second grade, we've lost 2 loose head props in 2 scrums. And, one played 4th grade, one was playing 3rd grade. So I've gone to the sideline and gone, we need another prop. So we've got this young guy, Anthony Moatane, who was playing first Colts, who was in the grandstand about to have a feed. I've gone, get him down here, get his boots on, get him ready to go. So he ended up playing his grade debut in 2nd grade. And then at the end of the 2nd grade game, I got to tell him in front of everyone, hey, you're actually playing 1st grade today, my friend.
He played. Did he play?
Yeah, he was one of the young. We had 2 19-year-old props on at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Both 1st grade debuts. Anthony, who ended up coming on at tight head in the last 10, had played first Colts that day as well. Levi is going to be very good. He's still only 19 as well. And we had one of our other props, Gerard, who had worked the night shift the day before and got home at 6 a.m. because he's got a newborn baby, didn't sleep all night and all day and ended up knocking out 70-odd minutes. So,
yeah, that's part of
it was club rugby at its absolute best.
That is club rugby at its best.
Sam Lindsay played a whole game in 4th grade, then ended up playing like 50-odd minutes. in second grade, after being on the bench for third grade. So we had a number of things. We did a number of things well, but we had a number of things not go our way, and the boys stepped up. And there's some good stories. There's some good stories to come out of it. And whilst you never like losing, I think down the track, some of the young guys that got exposed to that level of rugby, it's going to be good for them. Yeah,
absolutely. I thought some of those guys who came on did quite well, especially considering that. That's sort of the tail of the tape at the moment, from what I can gather. We've spoken about it before, but numbers are down, right? Numbers are down. We've got a spicy cough that we're dealing with, and week in, week out, that'll take a couple of guys out. So at the moment, I reckon the teams that are in the best position are the ones who aren't getting impacted as much. And I don't actually know who the fuck that is. I think
everyone's keeping it relatively quiet, aren't they?
Of course, everyone's keeping it quiet. And look, so should they, like, whatever. But it's just a jigsaw puzzle. It's a game of Tetris to try and sort of get everyone in on time and in the right sides at the moment, which sounds like South was in that boat as well.
Well, look, we haven't lost too many. We've COVID's hit the coaches a lot harder, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I heard they're degenerates down there, though. So
Hey, you'll be impressed with me. I was in such a bad frame of mind on Saturday that having a couple of quiet beers with my degenerate friends who and they've all gone to Vinyl Room and I've gone home.
Jeez.
So, I know.
Are you all right? Should I come down? Are you all right?
No, I'll be all right. It's I'm just going to turn a fan on. It's bloody hot in here. But yeah, so I've only watched our games 10 times each, and it's only round 3. We got West Harbour this week, so that'll be another fun one.
I need you to beat them.
We need to beat them as well.
Yes. Before we go into the anxieties of not sleeping and watching your games too much, Gordon went down.
Yes.
Gordon went down. Pretty close game. The Rats are a good side, and what they've managed to do, which is really impressive, is take like a one-off or a quick resurgence. They're always a good team, but their resurgence to that sort of grand final era and sort of turn it into being consistent winners. So they're a good rugby side. I've watched them now a couple of times, and they sort of just were a little bit too dynamic for Gordon. So I was sort of flicking through all the games, but that was a good win for them. Probably, I mean, it's a bit of it might put a target on Gordon in a way, like they're sort of, a beatable side now. But I thought that was a good win for the Rats. They've been good. They were good against Norths as well. So, like, they're a good side.
Oh, mate, look, I think Gordon will be one of the top teams. I think Norths will be a top team. I think Warringah will be right up there in the mix. I think what we said not long ago is anyone in the top 8, if they're on their day, they can beat anyone in the comp. I'm convinced of that, and there's going to be a lot of things that come into play. The C word will come into play, injuries will come into play, numbers will come into play, and it'll be really who's there at the back end of the year. There'll be a little bit of luck involved, I reckon, as there usually is. But
look, that I agree. I agree with that. But I certainly think for me at the moment, the Rats are a really good side. Norths are a very good side as well. So, and Gordon, I already knew was a good side. So it's 3 teams who are all put out, they're good performances with they've got some dynamic guys in the back line. I was actually spent most of my time on Para East, which was quite an interesting game at East. And you'd have to say one East needed to win. They had to win that game, and they did. But it was closer than it looked. It was sort of 19-21 for a little bit there, I think, or 19-20 leading into the final 15. Para are, mate, I'm telling you, Para are okay. They were. I watched them versus Hunter the week before for prep, and I thought they won the game because I just wasn't paying attention. They were dominant possession. They were dominant physicality. Their set piece was better. They've come on a lot. It's just, it's tough. They could have won that game. They're a decent side.
Yeah, oh, well, look, they've done a lot of recruiting and they've made a lot of noise. I know a few guys from out there listen to this podcast, and they're certainly saying good things about what's happening out there. So, look, as you and I both said many times, I want Parramatta to go well.
Yeah, Parramatta have to go. I mean, it's good that they go well for rugby. It's hard to, they're in like a 10-year period, which is hard to dig out of. But if they can keep turning up and sort of doing what they did on the weekend, they're going to knock teams off. And that's what they have to do. Again, they're going to have to deal with the same trials and tribulations as the rest of us. But they were in that game. They were in that game for all money. And it's just a few little things, few little piece of execution that sort of led them astray. But they were East at East is never an easy game.
Fuck no. Mate, they've been solid for years. They have periods where they're outstanding. They have periods where they're not as outstanding, but they've always been very, very difficult to play and a good. In my time, they're always a tough team.
Yeah, I think East probably have underperformed based on their cattle in the last couple of years. Like, there's a few years there where they've got 5 or 6 very good Super Rugby players, and you expect that they need to go a little bit further than they did. But were they a good side for all those years? Yes, they were good. And like you said, even I recall in like 2015 when they weren't going that well from memory, and we were going very well, still rocking up to East and getting beaten. So it is a bit of a fortress. So for Parra to play well there, I was credit to Parra. I thought they were good.
Hey, have you watched any Super? I haven't watched any Super Rugby this week. I saw the Tars beat the Fours. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's all right, mate. I'll carry this.
You carry this fucking show anyway.
The Rebels Reds first was a fucking good game. So I don't know. Maybe the Rebels have hit their stride a little bit, but there was some football played in that game. There was some serious tries. Fraser McWright is so good.
He's a gunner.
He's one of my favorite. I don't think I've quite seen an on-baller like him since like Liam Gill. And I know David Pocock was a king of on-ballers, but Fraser McWright doesn't look the part. He's short, he's stocky, he doesn't have guns on guns. Like, he's got a dirty moustache. He's very good. He's as good as I've seen on baller. He's just, if it's anywhere near him, he's got it.
Are you across the Brad Thorne stuff that was going through the news and how they were saying Taniela Tupou's fucking disillusioned with people at the Reds, and then he's put some Instagram post out calling it fake news, and now Thorny wants to be the Wallabies coach. And
I saw a little bit of it, and they were talking about it in the broadcast. I wouldn't say it's covered extensively rugby in terms of its internal politics, but I did see it. I don't know what to make of it. I don't make much of it really until I see something else or I'm told something else from, like, Brad Thorne's no doubt a very hard taskmaster though. So he's maybe one of those guys that came in, shook him up, got him to somewhere really good, and I don't know, maybe after a while the message starts to wear thin. But
well, possibly. I did a podcast with BPA, which I had to remove because the Reds didn't like it, and I'm not cutting this part out. And one of the things he said was that when he first came in, he was a total, fuckwit, and then eventually evolved into the coach he is now because he was learning and, realised that there was more than just one way to get there. So what I understand from what he did is he pretty much used everything that made him one of the best players and just applied that as a coach without realising that human beings are different and, different generations and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, man, that's something I get reminded of all the time is that, just because it worked for me doesn't mean it'll work for other people.
Absolutely.
And particularly a guy like him who is a top echelon guy, like top echelon.
He didn't lose.
No, he didn't lose. He won everything. And he was top echelon in rugby league. He was top echelon in rugby union. He won fucking everything under the sun, and he played till he was 43. So
yeah, and did back-to-back seasons all the time. And
already he's literally 0.01 of the rugby world. So yeah. I can see why some things that he would have done wouldn't have played on, because not everyone can do that.
What do you think of Elon Musk buying Twitter or attempting to buy Twitter?
All right, which I'm going to have to circle back to the Tars game for our rugby fans. I'm a big fan of it. I wasn't a huge Elon Musk guy always. I I don't know. He was a lot of his stuff's like government subsidised. He sort of just seems to throw money and stuff and hope it sticks. But I like it, the fact he's looking for a hostile takeover of Twitter. I mean, it'll certainly make my day more entertaining when I get to read all these crazy people. Well, not crazy people, like people who've
Trump.
been, Trump. I want to see his tweets. I want to see, but like
Absolutely.
lots of people get shadow banned from Twitter, and like they might not be banned, but their stuff doesn't get out there. Like El Presidente, Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports is shadow banned. Like, so I would like to see it maybe not be as controlled as it is.
I feel like you should say anything you want as long as you're not abusing other people.
Well, no, I think you should be allowed to abuse other people as long as it's not like literally.
Like I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, unless that's like the Australian thing for hate speech is unless you're yelling fire in a theatre or, threatening someone with death, like you can pretty much say whatever you want.
My favorite thing, the YouTube shorts that come up all the time. If you do you watch much YouTube? You would, surely.
Yeah, I watch fucking lots of YouTube, man.
Yeah. The YouTube shorts, and then you go down like a Donald Trump quote rabbit hole. And he goes, one of them ones is, you've called women fat pigs, slobs. And he goes, no, only Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, exactly. It's very offensive, but
hilarious.
You're going to have a hard time if you want to stop offending everyone. I'm sure something that I did when I woke up this morning offended a whole population somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
No.
when you woke up in your car and just got out naked.
Exactly. Now, quickly, the Tars.
Yeah. Yes, rugby.
Well, this is the semi-last Tars. I mean, rugby thing, and then you can talk about whatever you want. The Tars were good. They've got a 10 problem. I know I said this last week. They've got
too many fucking 10s.
They've got 3 10s for 2 holes. And I don't know where it would have gone. So at the start of the season, and I don't have inside info here, so I'm not speaking on behalf of Tane or anything, or haven't heard anything really, but I know they've, like, Will Harrison was the guy who they christened to be their next 10. I don't know. I think they probably...
Geez, they do that fucking early, don't they?
I was just about to say, I think they do that a touch early all the time.
Yeah. Fucking nice.
And so, and then Donaldson obviously got the what I'd call like the second string job last year. But then Tane's now started 3 games and he's played pretty well. So what do you do? And I don't know. The answer is, and by what I do, I know what I do, but I don't know what they're going to do.
I think that it's important to have, if equality is like an issue and something that people really want to take seriously, you've got to have an even distribution of ginger-haired men playing professional sport. And, so that should be something that they consider. Definitely.
I don't know whether they will. They've got Harry Johnson Holmes.
Well, look, he's a larger ginger man. I feel like you need at least two in a team to be, if you're a serious team.
For the life of me, I don't know what they're going to do there. I don't know who signs checks there now, really. I suppose Bladesy does, but I don't know. But I can tell you that Simon Cron's going to be sniffing hard after whoever are some of those guys.
Who else do you reckon he'll take? I reckon there'll be a bunch of shoot shield guys go.
I think he'll have a keen eye on the shoot shield. From what I heard, he's been watching the shoot shield. Maybe some guys who the average listener doesn't really know. Maybe some guys. I'd be very surprised if one of the Brumbies hookers doesn't go.
Rumour Folau's going. There was an article that Folau's going.
For me, though, honestly, like if I'm Pollard there, that's still not good enough for me. Is Connell gone already, or is he staying?
I think he's staying.
Well, if Connell stays and Noss stays, then if I'm Billy Pollard, I'm like, well, I should be playing. And I don't know whether the 3-way rotation is going to work. You know what? He could do with it for another year, but 2 years, 3 years, nah.
They got some great names, don't they? Noss, Folau, Connell.
Billy's not as good.
Billy's a good name. Billy Kid. Pollard.
I think a lot of guys are going to go there. I don't know how. We've discussed whether they have endless pockets before. They might. I don't fucking know.
The Western Force have that RM Williams money.
That sweet coal mining money.
And that shit be expensive, son.
I'm not a boot guy. I don't like them.
I've never been into them. Kate rings me maybe a year and a half ago and goes, there's a pair of RM Williams on sale for $250. In my head, I'm going, they're $500 to $600. Buy them immediately. Boom. I'll just resell them, double my money. put them on. I'm like, these are gun. These are gun. I like them.
Those who know me well know I don't really have an outfit I could wear it with. So RMs and fucking footy shorts, RMs
and a vest, RMs and a vest, super tight. Maybe we got to come up with some sort of outfit for you.
Maybe some arseless chaps. Who knows?
What are your thoughts? Like, I know we got that listener that always complains when we swear, so I'm contractually obligated to say fuck every episode. There it is. But also when we talk politics, they don't like that. But do you like? That's fine. Like,
well, we got. I don't know. We got. When do we have to vote?
That's coming up soon.
I know that.
I've definitely told you my story about Scott Morrison.
Yeah, unfortunately you've told it a few times.
Yes, I got a video of him drinking beers. They delete it now, and I said, "Get the fuck away from me this instant!" And they all backed down because he was only the finance minister at the time.
Well, look, I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know what will happen. I don't think Albanese will get in. Looks like they've been.
Hey, who's the one?
Lodge and just.
Who's the one that didn't know the unemployment rate?
Yeah.
Like, of course, it doesn't affect him. He's got fucking, he's getting $400K a year to do nothing.
I don't know, man. I will see what happens. I know you're a big Pauline Hanson guy, so if she,
you know what's funny? Like, mate, who's that guy that looks like you? Clive.
Oh, fuck me. Fuck me.
Everywhere I go, I see Clive Palmer, United. You can't trust Labor. You can't trust Liberal. Vote Clive Palmer, United Australia Party. I'm like, oh, that's a fucking great ad, Clive. Thanks, mate. Oh, geez, you've sold me.
I didn't realise how rich he was.
He's a billionaire, isn't he?
Yeah, I know. But I didn't realise that he's like proper, 5, 6 richest people in Australia. I thought he was rich. Like, obviously he's rich to throw hundreds of millions of dollars at an election that you're just scrambling for a couple of seats, but he's rich.
But he's like fuck you money. Like, he built a replica of the Titanic.
Yeah, he's fuck you money.
What would you do if you were a billionaire? You got to do some crazy shit, surely.
Yeah, I was propositioning this the other day. What would I do with fuck you money? I then asked what fuck you money was. Look, 100 mil for me would be fuck you money. Is that fair?
I think if you got 10 and above, you'd kind of go. I'm quite relaxed now.
Bro. To buy this little shanty that I'm dwelling in would cost me one of those 10. So then what? I need more.
Then you never have to worry about rent again. So I agree. $100 million is like fuck you money, but 10 mil would be.
After this podcast, I'm going to sell my blood to pay rent this week. But 100 mil, I would definitely. I'd spread some around. You got to give some to your friends. I think they'd be getting at least 500K each, maybe a mil.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. I wouldn't tell anyone.
You could pay off your tab at all the pubs that you've accrued.
Point Hotel.
You'd buy like a big brewery or something. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I'd do it for fun, but I'd do it for fun. I mean. But you know what I'd do? You know, like Willy Wonka's and the Chocolate Factory? I'd set up I'd buy like a big shed, probably around this area, so I didn't have to travel very far, and turn it into like a beer factory.
Yeah,
can you imagine? Beer river.
What I would presume you would do with it, to be honest.
I get Oompa Loompas, people like Sam Harris working for me.
Short people, advertising for short people.
That's right. Obviously, you pay them industry rates. You wouldn't overpay them.
They're not as big.
But mate, this is something I've thought about the other day, and it probably shows you how fucked up my mind is. If you're male or female, right? You buy a size 8 and you buy a size 25. It costs the same, but you use more material. Have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, but also some things don't cost the same.
A lot of the times they do, though.
No, because I've gone on to look for like a jacket or something, and I see it's like $60. I'm like, oh, that's not too bad. And then I click fucking 11XL. I'm like, oh, that's more expensive.
Okay, so that makes sense. So you're obviously shopping in the rich part of town, whereas over in God's country, the Shire, they don't want to make people like me feel bad. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's a lot of people like you down there, so they've got to play to their audience.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, no, I have thought about that. I don't know. It's like, I don't know why I thought of this, but it's like making people buy 2 seats on planes if they're too fat.
Well, I mean, they should though, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they should, bro. Even I am almost No, because I like lean forward like this, like scrunched up into a ball. But like,
Hunchback.
I don't know how dudes like in America, right? When you're catching flights from state to state, I think I've said this before, but you don't get a ticket number. You just A, B, C, or D. And you line up. So they'll go calling A and you line up, and then they go calling B, and you just pick whatever seat you want.
Yeah, so, I like that.
Yeah, I don't mind it. But obviously everyone gets on, takes the aisle, blah, blah, blah. And I've literally been on there before, and this 180 kilo guy comes on. He's like, all right, the fat guy. Who wants to sit next to the fat guy? And like made a big fucking hoop to her about it. And all I thought was, not me. Not me. Keep going back. I'm not going to be able to breathe, man.
Well, I don't feel like you should have to suffer because that guy can't stop putting fucking donuts in his mouth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I agree. But the being super fat is healthy movement would disagree. And that's just another movement that we're going toe to toe with.
This is something else. Boy, fuck those people. Fuck Australia Post as well.
Yeah, I hate those.
Can people subscribe to our fucking YouTube channel? If you're listening to this, please subscribe. Jeez, it's a slow grind, this YouTube game. But
I was thinking about it's hard because even the other day, things I watch all the time, I've realised I didn't subscribe. So I started subscribing.
I know. Yeah, you like swings of, well, man, we're over 600 or close to 600 now. That's all right. You know, a little bit of grind. I was about to say, he's gone. He's gone.
That's right.
He's gone. Oh, fuck, you distracted me. I'm like a goldfish. You can't distract me too much. Otherwise, I just completely forget what track I was going down. What else is happening in the world? What else is happening? Is there anything interesting going on in your life?
No, not really. I'm as I said, I'm no. Oh, actually, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is you said you watched your game like 10 times on the weekend. I took Saturday off. So usually I do like the review Friday night, just get stuck in. I was like, I'm not going to do it this Friday. Like I was happy. I got home, watched the footy, went to bed. Then Saturday and Sunday, I was in just an absolute hole because of just fucking preview. Obviously, North's a good team. Watched way too many hours of stuff. Didn't see the sunlight. Monday morning, we had training. And yeah. Because we got to get our third session in for the weekend. The boys decided they wanted to be then. So, but like I just could not sleep Sunday night, and I'm just like thinking about these fucking lineouts. I'm like, there's something not right. So I went to bed at 10. At like 1 a.m., I got up, went and got a thick shake.
Macca's, Mr. Gillespie, the usual.
I actually got a small thick shake, believe it or not. I was like, fuck.
I don't believe it.
Okay, fair enough. And then I came back, I got the receipt, and I went back onto PowerPoint. So I've sent through something to like the leaders at like 10:30 and gone, I'm going to bed. And then the next message they would have got is like 1:15. Like, guys, I was thinking, here you go. So yeah, I understand the review toils.
Well, it's you see a lot when you watch it 10 times, things you didn't pick up. But I went through and tracked every single forward that played first grade in the weekend and just followed them around. And you see a hell of a lot doing that. And you pick up little things every time that people do and tendencies. And obviously, you know, I do highlights for a living. And something that I've noticed is that there are very few players who are good on all sides of the ball, set piece, attack, and defense. And the ones that are reasonably good at all three end up playing international rugby. But even then, someone always has a strength in some area. And you know, I've done some of the best players in the world, and there's not one person that doesn't have something that they can't improve on.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, there's always – I sort of operate off a reasonably – like, obviously I'm dealing with the forwards here, but like, I don't know. I'm a big believer in that if you can consistently put out a 7, that's what makes you a good player. Like, you know, I'm not talking about a guy here who's 7 out of 10 is, you know, dropping the ball 11 times a game. But like if you're a first grade standard player and you're putting out 7, so for me a 7 or a 7.5 is like no missed tackles, no drop balls, hit your rolls. So like if it's rolls is scrum, then you have no penalties against you, fine. If you didn't get any penalties, okay, that's fine. and you missed no tackles and you didn't drop the ball, you didn't miss any rolls, you get a 7.5. Like that, for me, that's how guys get really good. Is you can put that out every week. Now, what I suppose I see, or maybe you see as well, is with the younger guys is like a 9 and then a 5. 9, 5,
2,
9, 4, 8, 3. Seriously, and so it's the ability to, like you said, like they might have a weakness, but put out like a consistent package where at the very worst every week, you're not going to, you're not going to miss 5 tackles. You're going to hit your rolls. You're going to do your set piece. Like that's what I'm searching for.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like if you're a young player, like as a forwards coach, the first thing I look at is the scrum and the line out, their roles within that. Are they across the detail required to achieve, to complete their roles, right? Then you might have the best fucking player in the world, but if they can't do that, then you have to go, fuck, do I pick them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas if they can do that, then everything else seems to be a bonus. And then it's one of those things that you weigh up depending on the opposition, depending on the strength of everyone else in your pack. Like you might have guys who can't line out jump, but they're excellent at scrummaging and defense. Or you might have props who are absolutely outstanding scrummagers and line-out lifters, but are basically fucking useless around the field. So it just depends on the makeup of your team. But if you can do your roles and are at least competent in all the other areas of the game, it makes it hard not to pick you, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the guys who are consistent will end up rising. And then each guy will have their like 1 or 2 points, which makes them way better. So they might be a gun ball carrier, or they might be a fucking really, really aggressive tackler. So that's how you can get extra points in your game. And then there'll be the things that you need to watch out for. So that might be like getting stuck wide in D or giving away ruck penalties like consistently. So yeah, I'll try and that's sort of my formula I like to use.
You reckon the shoot shield's harder than when we played? I kind of reckon it is, Fizzy, you don't reckon it is? I look at some of the training the guys do and
hold on. Training?
Yeah, but you got to take that into account. And like, I'm not sure the standard of games is as good, but I think everyone's genuinely fitter. Training's a lot harder, and everyone takes it fucking seriously now.
Yeah, no. That has changed dramatically, and we were probably one of the last teams, probably along with you, to convert to like the new school, which we've been in for 4 or 5 years now. Probably 3-4 years actually.
Since Norths won the final, I reckon. That's when I put it back to, because then that kind of coincided with super professional rugby sort of taking a dive in Australia and everyone going, oh, fuck, let's get around the shoot shield. And then remember that final that Norths won, they had 30,000 people there. Yeah, you do.
They didn't have 30,000 people.
Or 20, 15.
Yeah, it was 100. Who gives a fuck? They had a lot of people.
Well, that's exactly right. But that's when I take it back to them. That's when I think pretty much everyone started taking it seriously.
I agree with that. So like we're the first 5, or it would have been like 15 for you because you're so much older than me. But like the first 5 years, 6 years playing. So from 2010, 2016, we were 2 nights a week. And you would not hear a fucking peep about a third night because we had older guys who don't exist anymore, but older guys who'd played Super Rugby and they just wanted to play football on the weekend who were like, no, you can take your third night and you can fuck off. So I would have been happy to do it at 22, but now it's like that's stock standard. I'd be very shocked, any club, I'd be very shocked if anyone's doing 2 nights a week consistently. So the occasional week, maybe, but consistently just 2 nights, never a third, that would surprise me. So that element, way harder. The cattle, not sure, because I still look like every other week someone posts a team from this year, that year, that year, and I go, fuck me drunk. That was a serious Sydney Uni team, or that was an unbelievable South team, or whatever. Say it for any team. They were all fucking loaded.
Some very good Australian rugby players playing overseas. Very good. And back not even 10 years ago, they would have all been playing shoot shield.
Some very bad ones playing overseas as well. But it doesn't matter. The point is, there's just a lot of them playing overseas. So,
mate, there's people desperate. Like I had a message from a mate who's recruiting in Scotland, and I'm like, oh, I'll coach. He goes, oh, you'd have to play as well. I'm like, mate, you honestly, You don't want me playing at the moment. Like I'd be a liability. You go, no, you don't have to be that fit to play. I'm like, fuck.
Jesus.
I was never fit when I was fit. You know what I mean, Jed?
Yeah, well, no, we all were fit when we were fit. I don't mind the running aspects, but I do look at their training sometimes and just be like,
fuck this.
Good session, boys. Like, that was unreal. So, like, maybe I'm more impressed with them than they are with themselves because I'm just like, whoa, I'm not doing that. I can't do that.
Fuck no.
But yeah, I agree. So I agree with that aspect. It's got more professional. Disappointingly, though, the money side hasn't got any better, or it stayed the same.
It's gotten worse, I reckon.
Well, might have gone worse at South. South players, if you're looking for a new club, come to Eastwood. But ours has
cut that out.
Ours has stayed the same for like fucking 10 years, which with inflation's wrong, but it looks right.
You've got that TG Milner money, son.
Bro, we've been running at a loss for 15 years. Chubby's now winking at me like we've got some secret stash. Mate, if we had a secret stash, I wouldn't be selling my blood today to make up the $40 left for rent.
You've seen Road Trip?
Yeah.
Oh, classic film. But what about them selling semen to make money for like a hotel room or something?
I mean,
is that how bad it is? You just going for the milkshake and the cookie?
Yeah, I would like the milkshake and the cookie. No, I just had a day off today, so I'm back on the tools tomorrow. But I'm
actually. What are you doing now?
I'm just a bit like building, labouring with my uncle. I actually really like it because he's getting
awesome.
old. And not when I say old, he's like late 50s, but he doesn't really want
lots of breaks and stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to do hard jobs anymore, so he scouts out some real easy stuff, which is really good. And he doesn't listen to the podcast, so I'm a big fan of his, and I'm a big fan of the way he approaches work. I am actually looking. I'm sitting down with a school in a week or two.
Did you that one that I put in touch with?
Yep.
Oh, so that something came out of that?
Should do. I'm actually, funnily enough, and no, this isn't a time to make a joke. I need my working with children check, which
it's easy to get.
Yeah, I know, but I've applied for it online now. I've got to go to New South Wales. I mean, whatever the services.
The Policey or the SR, the Services New South Wales or whatever.
Yeah, so that should be good. I don't mind coaching kids. It's very different. I prefer coaching men, but I still like it. It's fun. I think that I actually appreciate guys who do like the lower grades. I think that's the hardest stuff. Like, 14 A's, 15 A's, 16 A's, everyone can catch pass. Everyone can tackle, sort of. You got to like just teach your thing, line out time, defense, like little folding strategies, things like that. But once you start getting lower, that's where it gets hard.
I agree. I think coaching people that coach kids are fucking awesome, and we need them. We need them in this country.
Unless they're a crazy parent. And crazy parents is something that I know it's a big deal in that world.
Dude, something that I've realized even coaching at this level is that fuckwit kids tend to have fuckwit parents.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel bad for my poor parents because they're lovely, but I'm sure lots of people think I'm a fuckwit.
It's true. It's true, but like, I couldn't imagine having people ring me to go, why did you pick Jed in first grade? Because he's unathletic. He cannot scrum. he hangs out on the wing, and he has a terrible attitude at training and games.
Oh, is that my report?
Is that what you think of me?
Yeah, no, I agree.
But you know what I mean? Can you imagine having that discussion with the parent? Why didn't you pick Duncan?
Well, it's not. It's that in some ways it makes me more like gives me more time for the play because I'm like where they're starting from here, they haven't been helped. So their expectations on themselves, expectations on how good they are or how good they aren't, or their concept of reality hasn't been helped. So, it's almost like they get more of a break because it's like, well, this is where they're coming from. But it does make it difficult. And some people have different starting points. Like, I 100% agree with you because I'm not talking about the team now, but like guys you met over the years, you're like, this is the nicest person in the whole fucking world. Someone like, Steve or like, and then you meet their parents and you're like, okay, well, I get it. They're also the nicest people in the world. Or they like, were good parents, like really good parents. And then you meet some people who are fucking off the Richter and you're like, well, okay, I get it. What?
Some of the conversations I had last year, you just go, duh, duh, duh.
Who's that with?
Oh, I won't name them. I tried to get. I won't name them, but you're like, you know that scene from not Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, where the guy goes, "That is the most insanely stupid answer I have ever seen. We're all dumber for having listened to you.
I award you no points and make honesty on yourself."
It's one of my favorite lines in a movie ever. And every time this individual was speaking, that's all I could think.
Yeah.
There's no point speaking to you because you're not open to information from others.
Well, I've got to say, I don't think it hasn't been an issue for us. It would be quite a big deal. I remember it being an issue at Eastwood Colts with one player in particular, whose father was not happy with various things. But if you're like at men's open grade, I think very rarely you'll get parents trying to.
I agree.
I don't think that happens, mate. It's more like a schoolboy, even into college, which I find madness, considering the kids are voting, drinking heavily, doing God knows what, and dad and mum are still asking, why he's not, I don't know, playing open side for ones or whatever the fuck it is.
Can I ask you a very serious question?
Shoot.
To be successful on the internet, do you absolutely have to be full of shit in some of the content that you put out? And like something I learned in the building industry fucking 10 careers ago is that if you act like you know what you're doing, everyone will assume that you do because no one knows what they're fucking doing. So if you just pretend and speak confidently, everyone will go, oh, that guy knows what they're talking about until they eventually work out.
Yeah, that's the same. That's the strategy for like if you're sneaking into a club or going somewhere backstage or doing something. If you act like you're meant to be there, no one will fucking pull you up. If you're sketchy about it, then you get in trouble. The things we obviously send each other a lot of content. Yes. I am by no means the mecca of rugby knowledge. I look at so many people's stuff. There's some guys I follow who are phenomenal, but they're
shout out contact coach. Shout out the contact coach, Craig. Good man.
I want to shout out my guy as well. But the point is, there's an equal amount of people posting shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like that,
and it's popular.
And it blows up. Like we're talking millions of people going, yeah, that's a good point. Like I'm looking at it going, good Lord. Like that shouldn't be legal. My dude's Omar Monamni.
The Bristol Bears defensive coach.
He's a fucking weapon. I love him. And Laurie Fisher. Laurie Fisher, who seems to transcend time. He's the number one poster on the Resh's Appreciation Society. True story. Regularly posts on there about where he's having his reshes. He posts some of his warm-up drills and things on there, and they're fucking brilliant. So like,
it was pretty cool going to watch him coach, to be honest. And watching him deliver a team meeting, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's like there's guys out there who are brilliant, and like regularly, like even players, like I've always tell them to keep a lookout, and they send me stuff like this is good, like this is smart. Well, they'll send me things and be like, this is awful. Like I wouldn't have done this ever. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's the internet. I don't know how it works.
I'm thinking of doing stand-up comedy.
That's how many laughs you'll get.
Maybe.
Are you really?
Well, just for like a challenge, something to do. Like I've always been very shy, public speaking, and I'm actually quite a shy person, believe it or not.
No, I do believe that. You're a lot more measured than I am. You think about things.
But I'm getting better at speaking in public, and I've done MC'd a few things, and so I'm like, fuck it. You know what? Why not get up and tell some, premature ejaculation jokes?
I mean, are they going to land in the woke Sydney?
Oh, hopefully. I don't know. My brothers always wanted to do it. I'm like, fuck it. Why not? Challenge yourself, get up, talk some shit.
I actually was going to do an open mic once on a cruise ship, and I regret I had a lot of good cruise ship jokes about their correlation to Western Sydney. So many Rabbitohs.
Go on.
So many Rabbitohs. Mate, within walking on the cruise ship, within 10 seconds, every NRL team had been represented. I looked around, and it was just like, it was the entire Rudy Hill RSL just emptied itself onto a cruise ship for 2 days. And
that's good gear.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know whether they would have found it funny because they're the ones from Rudy Hill RSL.
God, who cares what they think?
You've been on a cruise ship?
Never been tempted to. The only ones I'd be like tempted to, those ones that go through like Alaska and Canada. And
yeah, my parents have done that. They're real.
I'd be keen on that. But like going to fucking Fiji or something doesn't.
Well, I don't. Look, we went on a 3-night. I don't know what it was. I think it was actually called a comedy cruise. I think it was just whatever cruise was on that weekend about 2 years ago, just before COVID kicked off. It was when the COVID the first ship was coming back into the harbour and everyone was getting it. And we were going, what are they talking about? About 10 guys. And we were staying in bunk beds in like these little cabins. It had a casino. It had like all the restaurants were prepaid. So you just walk in and order and it was fucking chaos. The demographic was just spread as well. So those 5-year-olds.
Cheap?
Yeah, it was pretty cheap. It was something like
relatively cost effective, like lots of free Jim Beams and shit like that.
There was lots of stuff. Like you could pay for different drink packages, but it's very funny because obviously in the real world, if you go to the nightclub on the cruise ship and there's bars everywhere, so like people drink from 11 a.m. In the real world, you just get banned from a club. But when you're on the open waters, when you're on international waters, what happens? So you wake up in the morning and there's an envelope under your door and it says meet the captain and the headmistress at so-and-so at lunchtime. And
so they get you in trouble.
Yeah, you get drinking bans. So like a few of the guys got like a 6-hour drinking ban. So for the
6 hours.
Yeah, it wasn't much. And the other thing was you paid for everything with your key card for the boat, which was horrifically dangerous. If you think about it, you got a casino on there. So like you can at any point, it's attached to your card instead of like, and this was not me for the record, mum. You're not putting, these guys are putting cards into pokies at 3 a.m. and hitting just $500.
They do that on purpose, 100%. Well, they do that. They do that on purpose.
Well, there's a guy who's now retired from Eastwood, a young man who's retired, and he had someone's wrong card, and he woke up in the morning and had spent like $3,000 at blackjack.
Sounds like something Hugh Roach would do.
Yeah, no, he wasn't on the cruise, but he has his own money to spend. But I'm actually ready for my next cruise. Maybe we could go on a cruise and do the podcast from the cruise.
We just do like a live podcast and all the people will be like, who the fuck are these two fat assholes just talking shit? Why's that guy smoking and vaping indoors?
Well, I don't know which they're talking about you. No, I'll bring a pipe on there. You can, I mean, as I said, there's so many NRL supporters. You got to be able to smoke everywhere on those things anyway.
Oh, they wouldn't do it otherwise, surely.
No, like by the time you've got through the little customs section, which is stressful for some, I will say.
You got things hidden in crevices that you shouldn't.
Put it this way, there was a few people walking a little bit duck-footed onto that ship.
Oh, look, what am I going to do without drugs for 3 days? As if you can't get them on a cruise ship anyway. No comment.
Where?
Oh, I should ask you, shouldn't I?
I don't do that one, and I didn't do the second thing. Somali pirates.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, that's an experience I'd highly recommend. I know the Tars used to do a little mini cruise for their Mad Monday. Maybe we can try and proposition them to go on a 3-day cruise and just
take us on it.
Hey, take us.
We'll offer nothing in terms of financial or like probably fun for any of them.
Like the rest of the 400 support staff, we'll offer nothing. But we want to be part of the Mad Monday.
I'm not going to go to our Mad Monday this year unless we win. If we win, I'm going harder than anyone.
No, I didn't go last year. It just doesn't happen.
We didn't have one last year. The COVID season shut us down.
I suppose I sort of went to the 2021. I'm not a big drinker these days, but I went. No, there's no winking. It's fucking fact, unfortunately. That's what I was going to say before I forget. Strain 7s went all right again.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, man. I like seeing the boys go well. Nate Lawson, maniac over there.
Nate Lawson. I remember him tackling me once, and I thought he fucking hit pretty hard.
He's a wild boy.
Yeah, he's a good player. He is a wild boy, isn't he?
He is.
But there's a few wild boys on that trip. But it's good. It was good to see them going. Speaking of fucking cruise ships or anything happening, the Sevens World Tour. which is just a giant Love Island, from what I've heard.
Oh,
a version of Love Island.
How good. Well, X on the Beach. You've seen that show, sure.
I've seen X on the Beach. It's just a big dating show, from what I gather. Sorry to anyone who has who's in a relationship with someone in sevens, but that's what I've heard.
Mate, it's the world's good when they start going to all the sevens tournaments again. Geez, the 2020s have been fucking weird, haven't they? All the shit going on.
It's like a big single year. It's like a big 1 year.
It's just like this whole decade is just going to be a write-off.
Well, I reckon. Can't be a fucking write-off. By the end of this decade, I'm old.
Well, yeah. You're not old now, are you?
Well, I don't know. I don't feel 29, but apparently I'm 29. I'll tell you when I feel 29, Chubby, when I say things like, boys, think of Victor Matfield.
Yes.
And everyone looks at me going, who the fuck is that?
Who the fuck's that guy? Yes.
And I had to sit, Michael I see many times, sit him down and be like, that's Victor Matfield there. That guy. Or
it's Batcher, it's not that long ago.
Batcher on the weekend was referencing someone Martin Johnson. And he's like fucking literally if there was 10 rugby players ever in the Hall of Fame, he'd be in it.
That's almost 20 years ago, to be fair.
Yeah, I know, but you just like I wasn't fucking old when he was playing. I was 7, but I still know who he is.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm like, and people are like, nah. And then like sort of one guy sort of like, yeah, he's good. I'm like, fuck, what's going on here?
I wore my Country Eagles. Oh, dude, I wore my Country Eagles training shirt to South training a while ago. They're like, oh, did you play? Like, what's that? And I'm like, oh, it's the NRC.
That was only NRC 4 years ago.
Yeah, I know. There was like, it's the NRC. I'm like, oh, what's the NRC? Like, excuse me, you were talking to the first ever Country Eagle. You show some respect.
Yeah, exactly. You were number 1, eh?
Number 1 in the first game.
That's fucking something to hold your hat to. Obviously, a very proud.
I'm so proud. Very proud moment for the family.
Very proud, historic franchise that's gone on to great things. I don't know what they're doing this year. I think they're in the NFL.
Yeah, I remember getting paid $100 a week for 12 weeks or whatever it was. So, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my parents. We were just hemorrhaging money during that NRC period because not only did you have to pay for fucking everything, but then you had to go out every night as well. So
you had to, particularly the Rams. You're one of the top 100 greatest Rams of all time. Have you ever thought of that?
I'll do you one better. I think I'm in the top 3 highest capped Rams of all time.
But does that mean that you're great?
No, it means I'm awful. They're a terrible team, and it means that's why I retired young.
Hey, there's some absolute legends that went through the Rams. I'm sure I'll work them out. Paul Asquith, Hugh Roach.
Yeah, go
mate, top 5 greatest.
Start with the legends.
Max Holland. Max Holland played for him.
Yeah, okay. There's a legend.
Yeah, he is a legend, actually.
He's a legend. Lovely guy.
Shout out to Max. I know he's a big fan of the podcast. Waverley boys all listen to this as well, I'm told. So shout out to those boys.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cool. But yes, we are getting old, and that's the main reason I know is because I mentioned players that I just think everyone should know who they are. Like even like Todok Kefu's sort of vintage. If he wasn't coaching, people wouldn't know who he is.
Can I throw a random scenario at you?
Yeah, hit me with it.
If I paid you $200,000 a year to be a full-time ref, would you?
Where am I living?
Sydney.
Yes.
$150,000 a year.
I'm not super money driven, to be brutally honest. That's why I'm living in a shanty. Like, are we talking right now? Like, I have to stop right now?
Yeah, you're a full-time ref. You get fast-tracked into Shoot Shield and the professional world, and you might be an international ref within 2 years. Immediately, they're paying you $200,000 a year, and all you do is you're a full-time ref.
It's such a hard job, man.
$200,000 is $200,000 compared to selling blood and semen at fucking holes in the wall is probably a big step up.
Man, it's so hard. It's such.
I agree.
I honestly think it's the hardest job on the planet, and it has the most accountability ever in terms of people enforcing it because everyone's got the video. They want to know what happened here and there, which I kind of get, but like the time is gone, so decisions being made. Like I just think it's such a difficult job, and as we've said many times, the refs in the shoot shield are really good guys, and they're out there, bloody, like doing a very, very difficult job. I don't know what that ref program gets paid, but I'm sure it's.
I think they get paid. Oh, I don't know what a lot of them get paid, but I think the full-time guys get reasonable. I don't know.
They fucking should as well. It's really important.
I agree. I agree.
Because you end up with some of those like French. I watch some of the French referees in top 14. They're handing out cards like pamphlets to Chinese around the corner, and Chinese will be good, but the interpretation is just no good. Like having someone good calling the games is so important. So
it is, and commentators.
Oh,
we need a commentary school.
Come up a bit. This one's come up a bit. I've got to say, I've been hit up many times. I think Stan's coverage is really good. I think when has there been a time in the past where like I sat there on Saturday and flicked between 3 games, like on TV with commentary? That's very impressive. Now, do they know how to pronounce the names and the ins and outs of everything? Not really, but I'm not knocking it because I think it's overall it's a great product. But I think that I don't know. I don't think that yourself or myself would be eligible for Stan. Given,
well, you like to talk politics a lot, and I swear a lot.
You always dig it out of me. I come on here with my Swedish hat on, and I'm not ready. I'm not talking any politics. Then first question's always something about Donald Trump.
I know you like him. That's why.
Mine would be swearing related. I think.
You put out some Vladimir Putin Russian propaganda. You know, the Ukraine had it coming.
They didn't. Don't say that.
No, well, that's what you said offline. You
are Belarusian, though, aren't you?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit Belarusian.
Mate, how good's that Hezbollah guy?
Yeah, now we're going to lose the top. We're going to lose the older percentage of our audience, but yes, big fan of Hezbollah.
All right. Well, we've got some swearing in. We got some Hezbollah chat in.
I need to say, we have ordered Eastwood is now on the caffeine gum train from hell.
Where have they ordered it?
He's ordered it.
What's his name?
Rob.
Hold on. Let's have a look.
Pretty sure.
Nope.
Okay. We're not on the train. We're about to be on the train.
Not yet. Not yet.
We're about to be on the train because I took 3 packets to training, 4 packets after I was with you, and they went very, very, very quickly. And then I received many, many messages about when are you bringing more? So
this is crack-like substance.
Yeah, we're actually on board. What is this legal cocaine? So we're on board from where the club will be on board soon, and there will be no slowing down.
Batch tested, so it's approved for elite athletes. Australian Sevens just bought some, so thank you to those fantastic humans in there. Tom Carter, great man. Yeah, dude. Well, what else? Is there anything else? Any inspirational messages you'd like to give our audience? Any thoughts, statements, concerns, anything to consider going forward? I feel like the Roaring 20s have been off to an interesting start, and I can't wait to see what happens next. But what's your take on everything at the moment?
If you're out there on the way to work and you see people chained to the Harbour Bridge, I want you to keep driving. You understand?
Are people doing that at the moment, though?
Yes, and I want you to just look up into your rear view, and I want you to just keep driving.
Why are they doing that?
Because climate.
The climate.
Yeah, they don't want one.
They don't want a climate. I feel like there's so many fucking bored people that we just all need something to worry about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it was good there for a little bit. Well, not good, but like people are like, oh, there's a war. Maybe I shouldn't be complaining that some people like to eat chicken, but you know,
why can't people do things productive? Like, if you fucking want climate change to be, like, if that's an issue to you, why don't you come up with some kind of solution where we don't have to use all this plastic?
Yeah,
or
build a giant rocket ship and fucking fly somewhere else.
Elon Musk, you know what? We need to live on Mars. Let's fucking do that.
Yeah, I can tell you're a big Musk guy.
I've enjoyed some of his memes.
I deep dive on Musk. Musk used to be in a very interesting hair situation. He was very thin when he was young, and like all great rich people, and obviously I'm obsessed with boarding people.
Yes.
He managed to dig his way out. So it just shows you money can buy happiness.
Shout out to that guy. Money definitely can improve your life, without a doubt.
We'll tag him.
How is the vape testing situation going? When are we looking at releasing the THC ones that you keep talking about?
I don't know. Whenever we both move to fucking Cali, bro.
I want to move to America.
Well, having lived in America, I've got to say I do miss it. And I think that one day we'll live there again. I
think living in Miami. I think I'm going to end up in Miami.
Yeah, well, there's some great people down there. There's a lot of great things down there. Ron DeSantis. And yeah, I'd like to move back. I'd love to live in California, man, but I can't do it. They're just too loopy. They tax the shit out of everyone. You can't do anything. It's just too loopy. They're too loopy.
Well, we're going to keep going at this because eventually we'll get more than 500 listeners and people will throw money at us and buy our vapes. And when marijuana becomes legal, Jed and I have already lined up to have Loose Heads marijuana strain.
Well, you've been anecdotally testing for 20 years now, so we got so much prep. No, look, I love the hearing feedback from the shows. A lot of guys spoke to me last week about the sort of 4th grade, 3rd grade problem, and sort of what their take on it was. So it's good to hear feedback. So I appreciate it to everyone who does listen.
If you're listening, tell someone about it. If you manage to get to this point, even though we've got listeners that hate swearing, hate politics, hate Russian propaganda, hate drug talk, and I just hate anything that's not related to like semi-professional or amateur rugby union. If you're one of the people that managed to get to this, shout out to you. Tell someone, subscribe, like, share, follow us both on Instagram, and most importantly of all, buy caffeine gum. Would you just buy your microphone?
Yeah, I burnt myself on my microphone. Yep, buy caffeine gum, and yeah, fuck you if you didn't like it.
100 billion %.